Test, 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 test. We're just gonna let everything marinate for a few minutes, and was it about 5 of? See if people get notified and they can join in. So, just gonna sit here and let it idle. Be back in a few minutes. Okay, folks, we are going to get right at it. I want to go over a couple things. First, really quick, this is the end all. I'm done. I'm done with this project. And this is the only way I've found to do this as far as pushing audio in virtually into the 7300 that is reliable and with pretty much no noticeable latency. I'm talking about the TX audio using a DAW. I will not recommend Banana, nor will you ever see anything in reference to Banana on the site ever again. It's just a piece of crap, and you're not going to hear me talk about it too much more. So a lot of people aren't going to be happy about this, but there's nothing I can do about that. So, what I found with the previous video, and I'm tempted to pull it down, although it is an option if someone doesn't have two cards, I would absolutely not recommend doing it that way. Not the right way to do it. I'm going to show you the right way to do it. It does require, you're going to need a card anyways for the DAW, but you will need one additional card. Now you could go with like a Mackie or an M-Audio or something like that. A Mackie and an M-Audio, or you could go with like a Behringer UM2 and run that on the DAW and ASIO for zero latency. I'm just going to tell you how I'm doing it. Don't ask me. I'm going to present exactly how I do it, and I'm actually going to use this as the primary TX system into the 7300. That's how good it is. So here we go. The first thing you want to do is you will need two cards, independent cards. You cannot use two of the exact same cards unless the manufacturer's site says that you can use said cards on the same driver. It needs to be an aggregate driver. Windows would need to identify those two cards independently of each other running on the identical driver. Won't happen unless the manufacturer states so. And I don't know any off the top of my head that will allow you to do that. Hence, the two card situation. You will need two cards to do this. If you think about the cost, it's a minimal investment compared to equipping an entire rack. What you get in a DAW equates to anywhere from, $2,000 or $3,000 in rack gear to $140 of investment in cards. So if you want to play this game with a DAW and push it virtually into the 7300, 7610, etc., you have to use two cards. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, you just have to do it. Sorry about that. That's the bad news. The good news is that this is absolutely cracking. Not to mention, it allows you to push your processed audio to places like Discord. I'm pushing it to OBS. You can push it all over the place without using any virtual audio cables or Banana, which are crap in my opinion. I could not get the latency down on the virtual audio cables. So here we go. First thing you want to do is go into your sounds panel. Okay. Now you have two cards running. Cakewalk right here, if you see the meters moving right here, is running on one card. Okay. And what I do is I take a patch cord, patch cable, and this is running on a Mackie Onyx. So Cakewalk is running on a Mackie Onyx card. Okay, and that's running in ASIO, so there's no noticeable latency. There's zero latency. It's non-zero. I shouldn't say that. There is latency on everything. It's non-zero, but you can't hear it. It's instant. And you come out of the back of that card with a TRS, quarter-inch TRS, to a 3-pin XLR, which plugs into the second card, the primary station card. Now I'm going to show you how to get that audio from the primary station card to the radio. Here we go. So first thing you want to do is go to your primary station card. Mine is the M-Audio Air 192.4. It's the second card. Okay, it's not the card processing the audio in Cakewalk. You want to set that to default device if you use it for speakers, and if you want to use that card for your browser, playback video or anything, it has to be set to default. That's the first thing. You right-click on it and just set it to default. So after that, right-click on it. It's going to open this panel. Hit Properties. So you right-click on this, go to Properties. It'll open this panel. Okay. Check your sample rate. Always check your sample rates. Make sure they're 48 kilohertz. It's just part of the evils of playing this game. Once that's done, go to listen. What you want to do is, if you're running an ICOM, you will have what's called a USB audio codec in your sounds panel. Duh, I don't even know why I said that. All of us know that. You want to select that in this drop-down playback through this device. Click listen to device. This device, apply, okay. That's done. Okay, now we need to go to, let's go to Cakewalk here quick. And under the inputs, first of all, you want to set Cakewalk up to run under the ASIO driver. So let me go here, go to playback and recording, make sure this driver mode is set to ASIO. Go to devices. You want to choose my Cakewalk card is the Mackie. So I choose Mackie ASIO driver analog 1. My microphone's plugged into channel 1. And Mackie ASIO driver analog 1 on the output driver. Okay? Go in here. This card is capable of running very quick, so it's 2.7 milliseconds. Effective latency at 48 kilohertz is 2.7 milliseconds. Total round trip is 9.7 milliseconds. I have run this all the way down here with no buffering issues at all. I just set it at 128 samples right here, just for safety, especially for this video. Okay, go up to devices. We covered that. Once that's all set, hit apply, okay. What you want to do is you want to come down here to your channel strip. You want to select the card that's running on Cakewalk, the Cakewalk dedicated card. You want this set to analog 1. If you're coming into channel 1 of the card, you want to set on channel 1, which will be left in Cakewalk if it's a 2-channel card. If you're coming into channel 2 of the card, you're going to want this set to right, which is 2. That's how Cakewalk interprets that stuff. All right. Now you go into you want to set the output right here to master. You don't really need to do this, but if you have a master here, I'll show you. You have to send the output somewhere. So you can bypass the master altogether and just set it to the output of the Mackie card, your Cakewalk card. All right, but mine's going to master. And so the output you want to set analog 1, analog 2, stereo. All right. Score. Make sure your echo button is turned on right here. Otherwise, you won't see any meters, nothing. That echo button must be on. If you can't find it there, drag this out. And you can see it right here. It's also on the, whatever you call this. So either there or there. Okay. Alrighty. Now on to the radio side of things. Do need to make a change on the radio. So what you want to do is a 7300. I don't know about the 7610, but you're going to have to do the same thing where it is. It's in the menu. Hit menu, set, connectors. Okay, you want data mod to be set to mic, ACC, or just mic. Either one will be fine. Data off mod, make sure that's on USB. Now, I set my USB mod level to about 58. I would recommend a setting anywhere from 50 to 60. What this allows is that you will be able to control the modulation hitting the radio, the ALC. So let me back out of here. The ALC, it gives you some headroom. So it's not too hot, not too cool. And the catch with this system is you can control, once that's set, you can control the modulation level with this knob right here on your second card. So remember, you've got a patch cable that comes from the Cakewalk card, analog cable, TRS, to 3-pin XLR comes into channel 1 right here of this second card, which is my primary station card. So this knob, the gain knob on this, actually controls the drive to the radio. Okay. And that's sending it, if you remember, you go in here. Geez, yes, I did explain this. So if you go in here, your second card right here, see this meter moving? That's picking up the audio from the first card, which is running on Cakewalk. And we set this, listen. Remember, we set this to play back through this device, the USB audio codec, which is the radio's codec. And you click listen to this device. So that information is going out of here, and it's going into test. It's going into here, into the USB audio codec, which is hitting the radio, right? That's how you get your audio into the radio. It is pristine, no noise, crystal clear coming into the radio. Works great. All right, that is it for that. Let's see, where do I go? Hey, John, good to see you in there. I believe that is it. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to, so I will key the rig. I will talk into the microphone here, and you can watch the ALC, test. You can watch the ALC. I'm transmitting into a dummy load, and this is ICOM 7300. So that knob on the M audio air on input 1, that gain knob controls the ALC. You can adjust how, so you can see the ALC is a little hot, so I can just reach over on this knob and just back this down a bit, and we're good to go. So what I'm going to do now is I will head over to this is SDR console. Hey, Mikey. This is SDR console, and what I'm doing is I'm sending the audio, the RF. This is RF. This is not like the direct audio. This is actually what's being spit out of the radio, okay? And this is with the DAW running. So I have it set to a dummy load. And RF power is on 1%. And then I'm using the diversity whip out back connected to SDR console. And what I'm going to be able to do is actually listen to my audio, which I won't listen to it, but you guys can, because console itself produces enough latency that I'll stumble over my words. And what I'll do is I'll kick this on and key the radio, and the RF will come shooting out of the dummy. What? I know, right? You wouldn't think this would work, but it works excellent. That diversity whip out back will pick up the RF out of the dummy load here in the shack. And it comes in, it's captured by an HF plus, and then will be sent to the stream here. So you can hear, and I didn't spend much time on this profile, so don't rag on me. I just lit it up, made a couple tweaks, and away we go. All right. So let's get to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute the feed into OBS, so all you hear is the audio being captured by the receiver. So here we go. I'm going to mute this. Hold on, gang. Test. Okay, so this is testing the audio, the DAW audio from the 7300. This is captured by the HF Plus, transmitting into a dummy load.
This is the actual RF being transmitted out of the 7300. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Mike, Sierra, Sierra, Tango, Tango, Echo, Echo, Victor, Victor, Echo, Echo, Tennessee, Tennessee, Kentucky, Kentucky, Sierra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so that was the audio coming out of the 7300 via RF. That's actually what it's transmitting. So that's basically it in a nutshell, guys. If you want to run, if you don't have a rack, right, and you don't want to deal with a rack, this is the only way. This is the only way I'm aware of to get audio into the 7300 virtually with virtually no latency, no noticeable latency, and super solid. In other words, absolutely grenade proof. So here are your options, right? There's only two options in my mind, and these are the only two options I'm ever going to talk about regarding the 7300 7610 from here on out. Option 1, buy yourself some rack components at whatever cost. You could be looking at, on average, to get an adequate rack running, unless you buy all the stuff used, you could be looking at $300-400 realistically, and bring the audio in through a Heil cable. Boom, bang, done. That's great. Or if you want to run a DAW for free, you still have an investment in cards. So maybe you can pick up a couple used cards, maybe an M Audio. Beware of the older M Audios. Make sure that they run on 48 kilohertz. M Audio made a lot of cards back in the day that ran at 44.1. That's not going to do it. Stay away from those. Whenever you're looking at a card, look at the sample rate it runs at. You do not need a 192 kilohertz card. I'm telling you right now, you don't. So throw that in the freaking cylindrical file. 48 kilohertz will do it. So you need two cards, and they need to be two independent cards, different cards. And they have to, one at least needs to be running on ASIO. Now, there's a possibility. No, there isn't a possibility. You can't do that. So you could go research some cards, look at reviews. I have M Audio, Mackie, and Behringer UM2 here. All great cards. I've heard of Mackie failures, but I think the guys that are playing with those cards have a lot of RF in the shack. I don't have any, aside from what's coming out of the dummy load. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually in the other room. Even running a kilowatt, I don't get any, very, very little reflected power. I don't want, that's the thing. If you're going to play with this stuff, you don't want any RF in the shack. Period. Don't do it. You will take equipment out playing this game. It's just the way it is. So that being said, a couple cards, M Audio, Mackie. You could run like an M Audio or Mackie as a primary station card. That's your second card. That's the one over here. And you could run like, let's say, a Behringer UM2, which is only like $45, and plug your mic into that. Set that up in Cakewalk for the in and out. Install the ASIO driver, of course. They do have an ASIO driver for the UM2. It's not on the Behringer website, but it's there. It's not there, but you can get one. So there won't be any latency there. And that card is absolutely adequate. I'm sorry, guys. This is ham radio. You don't need to spend huge money on cards. So if you want to do it right, and you want it to be latency free, and you want to use it in contests, DX chasing, pile-ups, rag chewing, it will do it all. because the latency is so low. It's like non-existent. You can't hear any. Like when I talk into it, it's like boom, so that's pretty much it. Don't ask me about any other options. I'm not even going to entertain it unless somebody says, oh, I have a better option. They came up with a better way without using virtual audio cables or voice meter banana. I'm just telling you right up front, don't use virtual audio cables like the video I put up before. Latency is atrocious. It's a pain in the royal ass. Don't do it. Do it right or run a rack. Those are your options. What's the cheaper option? To be honest with you, the DAW. Your call. You may be able to run, I'm not going to try it. You may be able to just take an $8 Sabre and buy yourself a decent card, run that on the freaking DAW. Because you're going to want a good card on the DAW. You need it to be an ASIO to keep the latency down. And you may be able to just bring a cable from like a UM2 into a little Sabrent, an $8 Sabrent, and set that Sabrent to play back through the USB audio codec. Chances are that may work with the same way, very little latency. Don't know. The only thing you won't have is the knob to control the drive to the radio. You're going to have to do it all with a slider. You're going to have to do it over here, all with this slider in Cakewalk, right here. So that will work too. That'll work too. So anyways, that's it, guys. I'm going to go through the chat here in case there are any questions, and then I'm going to close it down because that's pretty much it. Get over here. Okay. See, Brent cleared. John jumped in. Hey, Bill. What, did I screw the screens up? It might. It might. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It was okay, Bill. Which part was it, Bill? Do I need to go back to that and revisit that a little bit? Let me know. It's so hard keeping track of this crap, man. Damn it. Hey, mic is direct to the rig going through a UR6. I don't know. Don't ask me, Mike. This is the thing. People are going to ask me, oh, if you have a 4-in and 4-out interface, you can use that instead of 2 cards. Hey, no comment from Bill, so I take it. Bill, no need to go back. It was after setting the 7300. Crap. All right, hopefully you guys got all that. Oh. No, John, it's actually okay in here. I got the heat on, but I'm always cold in the wintertime. How would I be able to use this properly? Okay, let me address that, Mike. I hate to be a dick, but I'm just going to come out and say it. If anyone wants to stray from this, how I set it up, go for it. Don't talk to me about it. I know nothing about it. This is what works for me, and that's it. So you're on your own, buddy. I hate to say it, but you're on your own. I can't help you. I haven't tried it, and I'm not going to try it. So I'm not going to buy a UR6 box to figure it out. My advice to you, Mike, would be to just stay away from this. The UR6 is no slouch. It's great. Will this beat it? Yeah, it'll beat it. But you're also talking super level of complexity compared to like a UR6 box. I mean, just look at what you have to do to get something like this working. So there you go. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with this. I'm not going to touch this anymore. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a good afternoon. And sorry about that little snafu in there. Not exactly sure. Not exactly sure if I skipped over. If you guys couldn't see a key thing in there, what I think is I'm going to do a written write-up on the website, and I'll repost the 7300 7610 page. So that's what I think I'm going to do, and then I'll link this video. All right? 73 guys, we'll catch you later.